Hello everyone. So today in this video I am going to tell you that what is regression testing in software testing. So many people we have lots of confusions about what is regression testing. So in the corporate field, so your senior can tell you that can you please do some regression testing of their application. So that time we will make some confusion that what is regression testing or how can we do that regression testing. So in this video I will give you 100% idea about what is regression testing. So make sure please see all the video. Okay, so you will get a 100% clear picture about what is regression testing. So let's start. What is regression testing? So regression testing says that testing the unchanged feature of an application to make sure that the changes like adding a feature, deleting a feature, modifications of features, and fixed any kinds of defect or bug. So all of these things is not impacting the unchanged feature of my application. Means suppose I'm giving you one very basic example. Let's say this is one of my application. Okay, so this is one application. So in that application, suppose three fields are there. One is, let's say one is username. Let's say one is username, and second one is that password field, and the one is that login button. Okay, so three features or three fields are there. One is username, and this is the password, and let's say this is the login button. Okay, so login button. What my regression testing definition says? So my regression testing definition says that adding a feature, deleting a feature, modifications of feature, and fixed any kind of defect or bug. So all of these things is not impacting my unchanged feature of an application. Means suppose we are adding any feature. Let's say we have added one feature called like forget password. Okay, we have added some feature like here forget password. So we have just added the features like forget password. So after adding these new features, my existing functionality, there should not be any kinds of impacting. There is no impact. So we have to test that after adding any kinds of feature, any features, my my application should work perfectly fine. That means the unchanged feature of an application should be work perfectly fine. Okay, so adding a feature, then deleting a feature. Suppose we are deleting one feature like forget password. We have just deleted. So after deleting those features, we have to make sure that the unchanged feature of an application is working perfectly fine. And same for suppose some modifications. So we are doing some modifications on username field. Suppose we are doing some modifications. So suppose apart from that username, just modifications is there. We have to added something like called mobile number. So there is many applications that in that login page there should be mobile number and password. So after modification, some changes on that username field. Okay, so my existing functionality should be working perfectly fine and fixed any kinds of defects. Suppose there is a defect on the login button. So we have fixed that, our developer has fixed that login button issue. So after fixing that issue, so we have checked that application. So that time we have to check that after fixations of any kinds of defect and bug, my existing functionality or my unchanged feature should be work perfectly fine. That means we have to make sure that in that regression testing, that testing that unchanged feature of an application to make sure that the changes like adding a feature, deleting a feature, modifications of features, and fixed any kinds of defect or bug, adding, I mean doing all of these things is not impacting the unchanged feature of an application. Nothing but called a regression testing. Okay, so now, so we are very much clear about that what is unchanged feature? So unchanged feature means adding a feature, deleting a feature, modifications of feature, or fixed any kind of defect. That is called unchanged feature of an application. Okay, so now we are very much clear about that. What is regression testing in software testing? Now there are many types in there. So regression testing, there is. So now next part is types. How many types are there in regression testing? Three types are there. One is unit regression, unit regression testing. That is one type. And the second type is that regional regression testing. Regional regression testing. Okay. And the number three is that full regression testing. Full regression testing. So these are the three types are there in the regression testing. So now what is unit regression testing? Okay, so unit regression testing means testing only the unchanged part or modification part. Means changing only the unchanged part or modification part. Modification part. What is unit regression testing? Changing, testing, testing only the unchanged part or modification part. That is called unit regression testing. Means suppose, suppose, let's say, so this is one application that is in that applications we have username, we have password, we have login button, and we have forget password. So what unit regression testing says that? Unit regression testing says that we have to test only the unchanged part or modifications part. So let's say developer has changes something, any modifications on that login, on that login field, on the login button, developer has done some modifications. Okay, so let's say first time the login button is not working. Okay, because developer are changed some features of username or password. Then we go for the unit regression testing. So unit regression testing means testing only the unchanged part or modifications part. So when the login button is not working, so developer has changed something on the login button. That means developer done some modifications on the login button. So in that unit regression testing, we have to test only the unchanged part and or modifications part. That is nothing but called unit regression testing. Okay, now what is the second types of that regression testing? That is regional regression testing. So what is regional regression testing says? So regional regression testing says that we have to test the unchanged part and also the impacted area. We have to test that, testing the changed part and also the impacted area. What it means? We have to testing the changed part and also the impacted area. Let's say suppose this is a module or this is a application. Okay, this is one application. So in that application, let's say 4 modules are there. Okay, these are module, the second module. Okay, this is the third module and this is the fourth module. Let's say fourth module is there. So this is the module, I mean M1, this is the M2, M2, the M3, the M3, and this is the M4. In that application, 4 modules are there. So what regional regression testing says regional regression testing says that testing the changed part and also the impacted area. Suppose developer has changed something on that M4 module. So developer has changed something on that M4 module. Okay, none. And let's say after changing any modifications on that M4 module, M1 and M2, these two modules are impacting. So these two modules are impacting after changing any modifications or after doing any modifications on M4 module. M1 and M2 are impacting. Okay, okay, that means M1, M2 and M4, these three modules are interconnected with each other. So after changing any modifications of that M4 module, M1 and M2 modules are impacting. Okay, so that time we will go for regional regression testing. Okay, regional regression testing. That means in regional regression testing, we have to testing that un we have to testing that changed part. We have to test that changed part and also the impacted area. Okay, now how can we assure that what module will be impacting after changing any module? I mean, how can we assure that after changing anything on module 4 or M4, which module will be impacting? So we don't have any idea. As a tester, we don't have any idea because developer are doing some code. We are just testing. So then there is one scheduled meeting is there. The meeting name is that impact analysis meeting. Impact analysis meeting. So impact analysis meeting. So in that meeting, impact analysis meeting, so we will sit all together and we will discuss that after changing or after doing any modifications on any module, what module will gonna affected. So that we will discuss on that impact analysis meeting. So after this impact analysis meeting, so we will know that after changing any modifications of any module, what part are going to impacted. We can assure that, and as per that we can test when any changes is done on any module, which part or which module is going to impacted, check that, and that is called as regional regression testing. Okay, so now we have cleared that what is regional regression testing. Now what is full regression testing? So full regression testing, we have to testing the changed part and remaining part of an application. We have to testing the changed part and remaining part of an application. Testing the changed part and remaining part of an application is called full regression testing. So in that full regression testing, as a tester or as a QA, we don't need to know that what in which module that developer has changed, because in full regression testing we have to test that whole applications. Okay, in the full regression testing we have to testing not only the change part but all the remaining part of an applications we have to test. So the that's why this type of testing is called as a full regression testing. So I am giving one example. Let's say this is one module. Okay, so this is one application, and in that application, let's say 6 modules are there. This on a module, module 2, module 3, and then module 4, then module 5, and then module 6. Suppose 6 modules are there. So this is, let's say, module 1, this is module 2, and this is module 3, and this is module 4, module 4, this is module 5, and this is module 6. Module 6. Let's say, suppose developer has changes something on that module. Suppose developer has done some changes on module 1, module 2, module 3, let's say module 6, module 5, and module 4. This module developer has changed something. Okay. So in that full regression testing, we are not testing only this change part, but we are testing all the remaining part also. Full regression testing means we have to test the changes, the changed part, and also the remaining part of an application. So in full regression testing, we will test M1, M2, M4, M5, M6, and also M3. Okay, so that is called a full regression testing. So guys, now you are very much clear about what is regression testing and what are the types of regression testing and what is unit regression testing, what is regional regression testing, and what is full regression testing. Now, a very important question is coming to your mind, that when we will do full regression testing, because we are doing unit regression testing, that is fine. We are doing regional regression testing, that is also fine. But I am telling you that on that full regression testing, we are testing that changed part and as well as remaining part. Then why there is need? Why we will go for the full regression testing, or when we will go for the full regression testing? Though there is few reasons are there. Okay. So when we will do the full regression testing, the reason one is that, suppose when developer has done some changes in the most of the modules, developer has done some changes most of the module. Suppose, let's say, taking this example, there is 6 modules and developer has changes most of the modules. Then don't waste your time blindly go for the full regression testing. Okay, so if developer changes maximum part of your applications, maximum module of your maximum modules of your application, then don't waste to find out the impacted area. Directly proceed for the full regression testing, so it will save your time. Okay, that is the one thing. And second, when developer done some changes in that root of the project, so that time it is highly recommended the full regression testing. So if developer has changes something in the root of the project, so that time we will directly go for the regression testing. That is highly recommended. Because, okay, because if something changes on the root of that application, and if we are not testing the full regression testing, and after the application is handing when we are hand over that application to the customer, okay, or to the client, so then if customer if customer do that full regression testing, so that time if they found any issues, that is the root issue. Okay, because developer has changed something on the root of the application, so that time obviously client will directly blame us that why you are not tested. Okay, so we don't take any chance to, I mean, any blame from the customer, right? So it is highly recommended, if anything developer has changed anything on that root of the project, then it is highly recommended or highly preferable the full regression testing. Okay, and then number 3, when your applications platform or your environment itself is changed. Suppose your application platform or your application environment is changed, then don't waste your time, directly jump to the full regression testing. Okay, so there are 3 reasons when we will go for the full regression testing. Now I am giving giving you one very important example. Okay, so it will be very much clear after this example when we will go for the full regression testing, or when we will go for the regression testing. Suppose all you heard about Jira. So when we are uh, testing anything, any application, then if there is any bug is there, we directly uh, create a Jira. I mean, for that bug, you all know what is Jira. Okay, Jira is a project management tool, or we can say the bug tracking tool. Okay, now, so suppose in that Jira there is some sprint features are available. Almost you know that in Jira there is some sprint feature is available. Suppose this is my applications. Okay, so this is my applications and this is my total application. Okay, and my customer, I mean the client, has given the company, means our company, to complete these applications within 40 or 30 days. Okay, let's say 30 days they have given us to 30 days. So this is the applications, and for that application customer or client has given us to complete their application 30 days. Okay, so this is the application. Now I'm just talking, I'm just tell you that sprint. So when we are working on Jira, there is some sprint feature. So what is that? In that sprint feature, so there is some time limitation. Okay, suppose in the sprint feature there is some time limitation. Let's say I'm seeing here. So the time is that in feature many companies follow as a many as they are by their own. Okay, so let's say one day, so in my project let's say we are following 40 days, 14 days sprint feature. Okay, so 1 day to 14 days. Okay, so that is the sprint feature. Okay, so now let's say developer has completed something in that 14 days. So there is a total limitation of 30 days. In the 30 days we have to complete the applications, and we have divided that application by the sprint wise. Okay, so there is the sprint 1 day to 40 days. So in that 40 days, let's say 20 features we have to implement. Okay, 20 features we have to implement. 20 features we have to implement. Now what is happening? So So when developer are working on that application, so they have taken almost, let's say, developer has taken second, yeah, developer has taken almost uh 10 days. Okay, developer has taken almost 10 days. Okay, now 4 days are remaining. Okay, so in that 4 days, if we go for first unit regression testing, then regional regression testing, then full regression testing, then 100% sure we cannot cover all the features within that 4 days, because we have only 4 days left. We have only 4 days left. So in that 4 days we have to test that application, and we have to make sure that everything is working perfectly fine. Okay, so that time we will directly go to the full regression testing. Okay, so now you guys are very much clear that what is regression testing. So regression testing means testing the unchanged feature of an application. What is the unchanged feature? Adding a feature, deleting a feature, modifications of feature, or fixed any kinds of defect or bug. So after doing all of these things is not impacting the unchanged feature of an application is called regression testing. Okay. It's a very important question for the interview, and maximum time if you are a fresher, so 100% can note it down that interviewer will ask you this question, that what is regression testing, or when will for regression testing, or what is the advantage of regression testing. Okay, so now I think you are absolutely find that there is no issue from your end, that everything you can understand that what is regression testing. Still, if you have any doubt, please comment me. And if you like my video, then one thumbs up and subscribe to my channel EduPaat and click on the bell icon. You can get the update of my first video. Okay. See you in the next video. Some interesting topic of software testing. Thank you.